Yes, sir.
So she don't show where she beats the pikin. They no go disappear.
No. I will follow it.
Yeah.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I just woke up. I have not even freshened up. I just woke up. Like, I stood up from my bed so I could just make this video, because opening my phone, opening my Instagram, the first video that greeted my eyes was this video of a very dark man. They went to arrest one evil woman who buried a child that was under her custody, under her care. Okay, so guys, I must warn you, this video is disturbing, so you might want to brace up, right? It messed me up. I couldn't watch some parts of it, but I still needed to put it out here to create awareness. Every day of my life, I beg God, I beg my ancestors, I beg the universe for one very important thing: to give me the chance to remain alive till my children become, adults, independent, well-to-do adults, that they would not need to be under anybody's mercy or care, Because human beings are so heartless. Hey, a lot of people are dealing with a lot of things. Why do we think it's okay to hit children? Why do we think it's okay to beat children? They will beat children up at any slightest provocation, and we say it is discipline. We hit children that can't defend themselves, and we call it discipline. Why do you hit a 2-year-old? Why do we stick? You beat up a 2-year-old infant. They screams and they cry. Don't move you. You beat up a child and they are screaming, they are yelling, they are crying. You are comfortably hitting them. You're not moved. They cry. The voice, that pain doesn't touch you. Ooh. How are people able to do it? How do you beat up a 2-year-old for pooing too much? You buy an infant because he poos too much. No, like an infant poos like up to 4 times a day, and it vexes you. You buy an infant. Do you know how much people spend to be able to poo naturally? You buy a 2-year-old boy because he poos. According to you, what angers you is that he poos too much. Hey, I am scared of this life. People are wicked.
And you say to the shit, say the boy they shit 4 times a day, and the thing anger. Now why should they beat on different days? Boy don't buy now. How did you get the child? Apparently the boy mother they do runs, now runs girl. The boy's name is Destiny. And she born.
There is nothing adorable about beating up a child who cannot defend himself. I always ask, can you beat up your fellow adults? Can you face your fellow adults man to man? Can you beat your fellow adults? Can you beat up your fellow woman? Can you beat up your fellow man? Why do you feel good when you beat up somebody who cannot defend themselves? This video messed me up. I am angry. You don't know what people are dealing with.
Why? Now the boy don't buy. 2 years old boy don't buy. She go prison. Oh. My greatest pain be say I no fit touch him. I could not touch the woman. Now one would ask the person that recorded the video, why didn't he go and do something?
You train a child with love. There is limits to the offenses they can commit. Kids are rebellious because that thing you call stubbornness, it's them being rebellious, it's them trying to be heard, it's them trying to be cared for. You're not listening to their feelings. So they tend to do what pisses you off. That thing that you like, if you make them happy, they would naturally want to do things to make you happy. And one of the ways to do things to make you happy is to obey your instructions to make you feel good. So if you hurt them, it's a natural thing. They automatically want to do that thing that would hurt you. Then you tell me they are being stubborn, disobedient, this, that. Turn it around. Blame yourself for that. No child is born stubborn. That child you feel is too stubborn. Is yelling for affection, yelling for attention, yelling to be cared for, to be listened to. So many of you are messed up. You're so emotionally messed up. You can't even listen to your children's emotions. You cannot even listen to the feelings. You can't pay attention. It's all about you, your rules, your others, whatever. They should just obey it. They don't care about how these people feel. You don't think they deserve respect. You just throw all that order out there and then you blame the governments. Humans are so wicked. Africans are heartless. I can count the number of times I've intervened. People beating up children here. Why do you feel comfortable beating up a child helplessly? When I hear children crying or somebody is crying out because they are being beaten up, it pierces my heart. I don't know how to mind my business when it comes to that. It's one of the disadvantages of being an empath. You guys call it discipline. You're not disciplining anybody, you're punishing. You can discipline a child without touching them and they still get to do the things you like. You don't need to beat up a child. What if you beat them and they buy? What do you have to do? Regret, right? Live with the guilt if you have conscience. Can we please stop hating children? This woman, every time she hits this child, the child is not her child. The child's mother gave the child to the woman to take to the orphanage. The woman decided to keep the child. It's always the most, those poor people, from a poverty-stricken background, avoid them. No matter how much exposure they've gotten, no matter how much money they test, monkey na monkey, they are wicked. One woman I intervened one time, from my balcony, I was hearing ceremony of slaps, right? Do I? I was like, You know when you slap somebody like up to 6 consistent times and they're not crying, right? And then you land that last one that made them to groan in pain. And it's as if the cry, as they come, it's as if they slap me, they waste time. This woman went to carry this pestle that they used to pound fufu. They slap me, they tell them, oh, I will send you away, I will not pay you a dime, and nothing will happen. They load and they slap, they talk that thing. They speak to you in between, right? So I had to go outside to look, to see what's going on. As I open my door, as I go to the balcony, I saw her lodging towards this young girl with the pestle. That pestle where they use pan fufu, you carry them, load, he had carry like this, they lodge with it, and I shout. I say, hey, madam, don't you dare try it. I said, why? Aden, why are you doing that? She dropped it. She wasn't expecting anybody to. Maybe it's been happening, and I moved into that environment newly. Maybe it was happening and everybody was minding their business. So she wasn't expecting anybody. I said, if you try it, I'm going to call the police. Why? Have you thought about if you hit her this thing and she falls now and does not get up? What will you say? She didn't say anything. She just walked back into her apartment and closed the door. And then the young girl just sat on the floor and burst into tears. That was when she now started letting out all that tears. I say, I know you can still hear me. Please, don't ever lay your hands on this lady again. Guys, till I left there, I didn't hear any commotion. So now she know any different pattern where she take the do am, but I no hear. Because it was not like that particular part where she was doing that. Why do we think it's okay to hit people conveniently, any small thing? Why do I? Just because they can't defend themselves, just because we have the power. Bullies everywhere. You call it discipline. Please, there's nothing disciplining about hitting up an infant. This woman has bite a 2-year-old infant. You beat up a child like this. You have 6 children. You are angry. You beat up a 2-year-old boy because his mom is not there. God, please never take me away from this earth where my children can't take care of themselves, by themselves, pay their own bills, live their own lives, make their own decisions. 2022, I was suicidal. This was the only reason I fought through that depression. My kids, I was trying to hold on so I could get them to safety. I needed them to be safe before I leave. That is love. The reason I stayed was because I needed to be sure my kids could be in safe hands before I left this earth. Took them to school. I'm like, okay. Because I care about their emotions. I care about their feelings. How would they feel if school is over? Mommy is not here to pick them yet. Nobody's coming to pick them yet. How would they feel? I consider how they feel. And because I consider how they feel, that was part of the reasons I held on till I got therapy and I got help. I got better. And I told myself, you know what? Never again. I can go through stress. I can have migraine. I can have headache. Yes, my BP can go up all it likes. But you see, entering that dark hole again, I fight it to my last and make sure I don't enter that dark hole ever again. Depression is a bastard. People are wicked. How do you beat up children for? Things you can't beat up an adult for. How? Check check all the reasons you beat up children. You can't beat up any adults that do the same thing. Check it out. The men that beat up their girlfriends and their wives, you can't beat your fellow man for doing the same thing. You see? Teachers that beat up children because they don't answer questions correctly, or because they fail a subject, or you don't beat up your fellow adults. Even you, Ankasa, I always tell teachers whenever I go to any school inquire, if you flog in the name of punishment and be disciplined, I don't enroll my kids. You are damaged. I don't need nobody cycling that damaged virus. Don't beat up my child. No. Because the reason you're beating up that child, you can't beat up your fellow man or your fellow woman if they do the same thing. So why do you think it's okay to beat up the child like that? People will give a child 6 strokes of cane on the hand because they failed 6 numbers. So you beat up according to the number of problems they failed, right? The number of questions they fail, you beat up according to the number. And you think you're disciplining them. This woman will rot in jail. People go beating up children. Why? The other time I had to intervene. One small boy, they always... And you know the worst part? 12 midnight, 1 a.m. When a child is sleeping, you go and wake the child up with whipping. Pure. The child will be yelling, you are beating them. How? The other time I had to go and counsel this person. I said, why do you do this? Look at the time. Do you even think of the damage you're doing to the child's brain? Do you feel good? Forget that, okay, the scream noise disturbing other people's sleep. You are awake because you are planning to beat up your child. Because during those days, that's what they used to do. You think you commit something, no, you think everything is okay. You go to bed, they wake you up with slap or with cane. So just because they did it to you doesn't mean you should do it. The reason you are doing it is because you've been damaged from how they did it to you. Can we please normalize having a dialogue? Can we normalize considering the feelings of people weaker than us? Can we normalize considering people that can't defend themselves, protecting them instead of bullying them? That your child you beat up, you beat them mercilessly because you think you are disciplining them. You're just being a bully. Stop it. Stop it. Slave masters were beating up the slaves, flogging them with belts, cane and all that. That's what they do to slaves. Is your child a slave? You don't use cane and disquangua the body of your child now, and then the next day you're telling them, I love you. Then you're teaching them the wrong thing. They grow up beating up or bullying their partners or their children, and they call it love. They think it's discipline. Can we normalize having affection? Can we normalize being less heartless? The world is wicked. Africans, we say, oh, the slave masters, they did this, the Westerners did that. We are wicked.